Good morning, good afternoon, all you beautiful people out there on this Mother Earth. You're listening to Trace Elements Radio. Joined here today with me, Tony King, is the awesome Twodog. How you doing today, sir?
Okay, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. We were talking a little bit before the show about some visions that we've been
Yeah.
we've been having lately, and I thought we could share that a little bit today and touch on some other things. Because I personally have had visions on our brothers in Europe, and it doesn't look good. One of the visions that I had right before the whole Brexit thing was I kept seeing like open fields of basically bodies, and I kept seeing images of clocks representing time. And I'm not too confident if we don't get our things together that this is going to play out in our favor. So
If I could add to that, Tony, just for a
yes,
minute.
please do.
Now, you know good and well that there's a lot of people that don't trust power as far as structure is concerned, like governmental power. They're
Hmm.
they're trying to get their own freedom going. Like
Hmm.
the UK, as far as England is concerned, decided to leave the EU. All right, that's big thing. So here you go with a lot of the stock exchange here in America dropping worldwide money wise. All right, this could be a complete disaster, or it can go. Who knows which way it's going to go? But when this breaks apart, there's a big financial problem. So people are going to start maybe losing jobs. Who knows what's going to happen here? So that might be where your vision is going because uh, death death is something that's been there forever, and now the people have voted. Now where it's going to go, who knows, Tone?
Yeah, it could go in their favor if they allow it, if they make it, if they will it, if they work towards it. And I would love to see that, because there's some things that I've been noticing in the states as well. I don't know if anybody's aware of this, but Texas actually is the first state to break away from the United Nations, and I think that's amazing. It's like, nah, we can do it ourselves. We don't
Now
need you. And I think.
here's what I'm seeing a lot. Okay,
Hmm.
we've heard lately through the grapevine that if this election we're having right now, this might be the last presidential election America will ever have. Uh, Somebody's actually stated that, and that if Mr. Donald Trump gets it, there's going to be a civil war in this country. Already been stated whether it's going to happen or not. So we've heard a few years back that some states in America are already talking about succeeding again. So that sounds like civil war to me.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to have to start looking at on how to protect our families, our food supply, our water supply. We don't. If this happens, we don't know who's going to start stealing from who. I hate to say it that way, and who's going to get what they got to get. And people get weird, and they get like they'll do whatever they got to do for survival, even if it has means dropping your brother. They don't. It's an act of survival, Tony.
Well, you see it all the time. Anytime there's a natural disaster, you've always got those first group of people that just go out there like, excuse me, let's loot, let's steal everything that we can. It doesn't
Yes,
matter.
I
Like
mean,
I'll
you.
carry a flat screen 60-inch TV down a river while while it's wet. You know what I mean? It's just
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like, okay, what are you gonna do with that now?
You look at some of the things that happened, like in the '60s, okay,
Hmm.
or when one brother gets beat after death, and then like Detroit or anything like that, when they start setting towns on fire because this is wrong, by killing him anyway.
Yep.
Oh, let's just loot a television. Let's get televisions and couches and I don't know what else. Well, what's that got to do with what just happened?
Exactly. Where are you gonna plug that up if there's no power?
If there's no power, what show are you going to watch? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh my goodness. It's I can see. I'm put like this. Like there, by the end of it, there's going to be some casualties. Like you can't save everybody. I can't Captain Kirk everyone,
No.
but this is why I was talking about before. It's important. It's vital that we start coming together as communities, even if it's in within your own little community, your own neighborhood. It's a start. People growing their own food, people getting back on the barter system, things like that can really change things overnight. Really,
Right. Now,
it's just coming together. That's the only thing that's basically letting everything going on this planet that's, I don't want to say evil, negative. I guess would be a better word.
let's go with negative right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But
It's that disconnection with one another.
yes, I mean, if you sit here and watch world media all the time, let's just go with this. It's going to scare you to death because that's what they want. They want to keep that. They got now where they're saying, "Oh my God, it's ISIS again." They hit Turkey, and now they're going, "No, it was Russia." They no, it was at somebody else. You know, this thing takes the connection away to who we are anyway. If you keep getting feared into things, then you have no connection and have no idea where you're going. And believe me, world media doesn't tell the whole truth about everything anyway.
Of course not. They tell the corporation view.
Yes, yes, it's the whole system. Okay, now you look in America right now, where you got two people running for the highest office in the world. Well, that you can go and tell people around the world what you're going to do, and it may sound good, all right, but you can't make a step if the Senate and the Congress here in America don't back you. If they say nope, you can't do anything. I mean, Obama could have done many, many things that the Congress blocked. No, you ain't gonna do it. The problem with America is they got to remember they're the highest power in the world right now, and so was Rome. But Rome fell, and it can seriously happen to you, even
All
if you're
all
not careful.
civilizations will fall. It's because they're
Oh yes,
civilizations. The whole concept of being a civilization. You should not want a civilization to last forever, unless it's one
I
where all of us are unified.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
all civilizations fall because of that control system. It's always meant to fall.
Let me say something real quick, and this is from the late John Trudell. If you want to know exactly what the great lie is, civilization. It's the great lie.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you see
Let
where I'm going?
let me put it in perspective for people. You have Aboriginal natives, indigenous people all around the world who have survived and thrived in their own environments for countless millenniums, and they haven't fallen. They have they've done the opposite. So why is it that
Hey,
our civilizations are falling? That should be a
let
wake
me
up call for people. Like, something here is not right.
let's look
If you haven't already
let,
got to that point.
let's look at it this way, Tony. This is how I look at it. Now it's only my opinion, so just flow with me. And America took up their constitution from the Iroquois Confederacy.
Hmm.
And if you look at the Iroquois Confederacy, it's still together. Uh, the only problem that I see is America's not doing the Constitution the way it should be done. And what I'm saying is, you put someone in office, the people have the right to take them out if they don't do the right thing. Well, they didn't take Nixon out, he took himself out when he got caught. Okay.
Yep.
When these leaders are messing up, we just, hey, go ahead, get your 4 to 8 years out, and then we'll vote again. But the Iroquois Confederacy's constitution, its constitution is based from it. In 1754, Ben Franklin said, "If a nation of savages can have almost," and there's that savage part again that I don't like,
Yeah.
but if he said, "If a nation of savages can have almost a perfect constitution, we can too." Well, you're not doing it. Truthfully, you're not doing it, Tom.
Well, look at the kind of society we've set up. It's not
Oh,
one where women are equal.
well, here's the thing. I live in a matriarchal society. Matter of fact, when I became the chief of this small band here, I made sure that the matriarchal society comes back. Okay. In other words, I'm just the spokesman. The women run the tribe, bro.
Yeah.
And if you go and look at your immediate family and say you go to everybody goes to grandma and granddad's house, okay? If you think about it, back in the day, grandma was the grandmother of the family, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, it's not let your women be silent in church, man. The life giver is the if it wasn't for the woman in itself, you wouldn't be sitting here now.
Which means they should have the first say so.
Yes, the grandmothers, the clan mothers here, you
It's
know?
not called Father Earth for a reason.
No, it's Mother Earth. Okay, you have Father Son. Yes, you do, but you
Hmm.
got Mother Moon. If you think about it, so everything that the Earth does, women do. So they're the sisters to the Earth anyway, and it's always up for a man because men need to understand how to use themselves to understand a woman, and that's to use the side that your heart is on to constantly understand the woman. I mean, women talk to me all the time because I constantly use it. Doesn't make me weak or anything, believe me not. But we have to learn to work together, the sacred male and the female, the sacred female,
Exactly.
for the benefit of the host, Tony.
That's when you'll start to see this planet turn around
Yes,
and come back to its glory.
yes, yes. I mean, what we live in right now is a patriarchal society where, the men think they rule the world.
And
They
look
can
where
do
that's gotten us.
whatever they want. See what I'm saying? And that's just not the way it works.
At the end of the day, all they want is this to be their playground and nobody else to enjoy it.
Yeah, but
And along the
look
way,
what
they're going to collect energy of all kinds, whether it's fear, death, all that.
yes.
Stop
Now,
giving your power to other people.
you have, see, each individual in this world, I don't care who you are, I don't care who you are, everybody has been gifted some kind of power in this world. Everybody.
Exactly.
By the Creator, He has gifted you power, some kind of power. It's the way you use this power. If you use it incorrectly, Creator can take it away as easy as He gave it. It's how you use the power. Do you use it for positive or negative? Because you have to understand every action has equal reaction. If you give, say, negative tip to everybody, then you're going to get that negativity back. So action reaction. Whatever action you give is what reaction you get.
And our ancestors knew this.
Oh yes,
That's how they
yes,
were able to create the things that they did. And we still a lot of people still look at them as primitive, still using stone tools and things of that nature to build these monuments that have which withstand time itself.
yes. Now how can that happen? How can you take just a little bitty piece of flint or whatever and make these great monuments when now it took like cranes and everything else to build?
Hmm.
And then you go, well, they were just savages. They didn't know what to do. And I hate that word. Believe me, I hate that word. But here's what I'm thinking. How did the Iroquois Confederacy continue if that's what we were? We're all the human being here. And the great lie is civilization. That's the great lie.
That is what's hindering us is trying to live in
Because
a
it
society,
it
live
don't work.
civilized.
It don't
That's
work.
that's destroying us on a spiritual level, as well as other levels. But I like to
Yes.
focus on the spiritual because if the spiritual is weak, the body's gonna fail.
Well, it's a spiritual, mental, physical disaster.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they
Because
gotta get us on all fronts.
yes, because if your spiritual is not connected, then that means your mental's not connected. If your mental's not connected, it will destroy your physical.
Exactly. Well said.
Therefore, you have a lot of people dying for nothing. And some people like, I don't know what happened to him. He was healthy a week ago. Then what are we doing? We're not. Our life expectancy is not what it used to be. Yet, we're having kids that are being born with cancer, like my daughter has, and uh, children getting things that should not be getting. You know, but
Things that our ancestors didn't have to deal with.
yes, yes. Now there was a leader in Canada a few years ago that stated to the Canadian government actually that it's been over 100 years you've been trying to take care of us. The only one that can take care of us is us. If you see where I'm going,
Oh yeah.
the only way that we can take care of us is us, and that's human beings in general. The only ones that can take care of only family wise that can take care of Tony is Tony's family because you guys know what you need. So the barter system can work or any kind of way that way, Tone. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and really the barter system is not the end all. That's just to get us where we need to be.
That's a start, Tony. It's a start. Now, the problem is the biggest problem, and especially now, is that people do not trust people. You got a neighbor that may be, say, 75 to 100 feet away from you, but you don't know who they are. You
Right.
don't even talk to them anymore. You have no idea who they are. They don't talk to you. You don't talk to them. You do your thing. They do theirs. And you have no idea who they are. So if something happens, some people go, oops, too bad for them. I got mine. Go get yours.
See,
That's
that's
pretty.
another thing that bothers me is how easily we write off our elders and put them in these homes to go die.
Well, you know, that's another point. That's another point. Now, tribally, of course, you know this, Tony.
Hmm.
I don't care what race, creed, or color you are, black, white, yellow, red, whether you're in Europe or not. The tribes of Europe were the ones that defeated Rome. Okay, tribal. But here's what's happening now. If grandma and granddad, starting to get of age and they can't move around like they used to, only thing you do is you put them in a nursing home and let somebody else take care of them. Now, I hate to say this, ladies and gentlemen, but if you put them in a nursing home and forget them, you're forgetting that elders have wisdom that they're teaching you, even if they can't move.
Hmm.
Okay, elders are the wisdom, and we have to think 7 generations up, not just one. I have a daughter, but I'm also thinking 6 generations from her. I want this mother better for her than it was for me. Plus I want 6 more generations better. Okay? And then you have I don't know, some of the most silliest stuff that men are doing to women that I've ever heard of. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. They are the life giver. Without them, you wouldn't be there. So why are you slapping around? Is it because I don't know? You wouldn't do that to a guy because the guy would beat you to death. Are you being? Are you a coward? Because you hit
I would
a
love to
man hit
see
you.
a woman beater try to put their hands on me. I don't care how big you are.
Well, I'm like this. If you are a man and you beat on a woman, to me
You're not
you're
a
a
man.
coward. You're not a man because you wouldn't touch a man. But hey, this is what I'm saying. The
Right?
women
You're
are
weak.
the women are truthfully, women in general are much 110%. I believe this in my heart, my mind, my spirit are stronger than men ever thought of being because they give life, man. We help with the life. Yeah, we work together to bring forth this life, but hey,
But they
the
don't get
women
that.
bring it.
Women don't honestly need men to give life. They have done it in the past without the male presence.
Well, yeah, yes, that's true. But in this world, the way things are working, the male and the female, okay, they need to work together 110% for the benefit of the whole.
Hmm.
The benefit of the whole is everybody on this planet. You need to work together. Stop this racial thinking. Stop this hate of somebody else that you have no idea who they are, as far as country to country. Um, in other words, I'm not going to go say to another country and kill a brother that I've never met because somebody in high office got ticked off at somebody else. You want to fight it out, then both of y'all get it in and get at it, buddy boy.
Exactly. That's why I won't join the army because I don't believe in killing somebody over. our profit.
No,
So I'm gonna tell you right now,
no.
those people in Iraq, they don't pose that much of a threat to us.
Well, here's what I think, bro. I personally think that we can work together for the benefit, and that's nation to nation diplomatically. Okay,
Hmm.
we don't need to go to war. War makes money for these people. You got to understand that.
On both
But
sides.
see, the money, yes, both sides. But the money part is just nothing but greed. And greed, if you think about greed itself, it's going to kill you because you can't you can't love money that much that it's going to do that. I mean, in this modern society, everybody needs the green fog skin. Okay, as far as the money here, but the if somebody loves me, man, like my family, I just say my family. Okay,
Hmm.
if I'm loved, bruh, I'm rich. I don't need, you know, I don't need a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
I don't
saying
need
it.
to have all the money in the world. So I'm with you on that.
No, greed kills, man, and you'll kill to get it. And these high ups are proving it every day.
And people would not do that if they know how to survive on their own, if they know how to grow their own food and things of that
Yeah,
nature. There wouldn't be a need for that.
no, and I'm telling people around the world, I agree with the late Floyd Red Crow Westerman. Okay, learn how to plant something
Yep.
because we honestly don't know how this structure is going to keep going. Something could happen to where I don't know. We ain't got no structure in that manner, and then we're going to end up having to take care of ourselves tribally, truthfully. So, if you look at what Russell Means once said, the late Russell Means also, if you look at America in itself right now, welcome to the reservation, bro. You're on it.
Yeah. We just got different names for different areas. You got the barrio, you got the ghetto. It's all the same.
Yeah.
You might live slightly more
Hey, I
comfortable than
lived in the
somebody else,
barrio
but it's still
in
a reservation.
Chicago, man. I know. The whole world, if you look at what's going on, the whole world may end up that way. But here in America, it doesn't matter where you live. You're on the reservation right now because you got even the poor white people right now that are fighting to survive. They now see what we were talking about from the reservation. Okay,
Hmm.
so truthfully, the whole America is starting to be a reservation now. That is your problem. The problem is how do we fix this focus? Because a lot of people have just absolutely gotten unfocused to what's necessary. You know what I'm saying, Tom?
Yeah, I'm with you. And honestly, it would not take long to fix these things if we came together. We could
No,
literally,
it won't take.
if we came together, we could literally fix things pretty much overnight.
Yes,
You know, in the
the
grand scheme of things. Like, I'm not saying like at 24 hours overnight, but you know what I mean. Like
no,
it would be it wouldn't be that long.
it'll take some time, man. But see, here's the thing that I'm saying. If you have people that are good people that want this understanding here, that you can go to your neighbor and barter something that you need and that I need, and we work together for that. You go back to where you're at. You can use that. I can use it. So basically, we're working together. Kind of tribal understanding. I barter with you. You go back. Your family's good with what I bartered with you. You're good. I'm good with what you bartered with me, and we're both working together.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's for we used to do that. Tribes used to do that here constantly, which sometimes it still is in certain places. Go ahead, Tom.
I wanted to know because I know when I talked to Tracy that we were experiencing a bit of the same thing. How has the past week or two been for you energetically?
To be honest, let me explain something. There was a group come down here in the past week, and
Hmm.
they how to put it, we sat in council for like 2 days, and on one Saturdays they come and how do I put it? They planted the Iroquois Confederacy peace tree in my territory, and that's a big deal, Tony. I mean, we did ceremony mainly that whole day, and it was honored. I never been so honored from another group in all my life. Uh, we held up the Iroquois Confederacy with everything everything there was, and there was a planting of the Iroquois Confederacy peace tree in my territory. Tom,
Wow.
that is a big deal.
Oh yeah. Now is that the one that you have hanging up on your picture?
Oh, you see the Iroquois Confederacy flag? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yes. But as far as that tree in itself, what this group is telling me is that between them and us, there will be peace between us two. So in a way, we kind of confederized to each other. There always be peace between them and us, and it was just a how do an overwhelming shock to me, in a good way, Tony, that somebody would have even thought of it in modern day. Okay, that these things are still happening.
Well, the people are speaking and they know that you're the man for the job.
Well, I can say I'm not on the site at the moment right now, but here's the thing. Um, to Laze, I wanted to let her know. I know she's probably listening right now. That yes, I do have the flag of Yorkshire. It did come in, and ski very much for that. And if we ever meet, honey, that flag will be flying. And I'm fixing. We're talking about making one great big circle with all these flags coming out right now, and I will be posting all of them. But laws ski very much. The flag of Yorkshire did come in. Tone.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I think we got our guest. We got our
We got our
woman of the
TK.
hour.
We got the other TK.
TK's up in here.
Yeah, she says she's going to simulcast. Uh,
Fantastic.
so
So I got you going. Everything's great. You sound awesome, guys.
thank you so much.
Ski train.
You better be taking it easy, Tracy. I don't want you
Speaking
passing out of
first,
places.
I had to knock everything down first. I pressed the wrong button and almost exploded my computer. And then I grabbed it and threw it across the room because it pissed me off. And so I broke my headset again. But it's good. You sound good. It's good.
I'm telling you,
Yes.
it's that Mars.
It's too late. What can I do about it? You guys are doing great, and I guess everyone knows that um, Tony and Twodog are going to take um, care of everything for me for a little while. I need some rest, so um,
Yeah, you just
please
focus
continue.
on
You
that.
guys are doing awesome.
You
You,
focus
you,
on getting better. We got this.
yeah, you focus on that. We got your back, girl.
Thank you guys. You're awesome.
I'm glad you had the strength to join us on the call to uh, share some words with us.
Yeah, those are the only ones I have.
Hey, that's fine. I can hear it in your voice. I know you fighting though.
I'm fighting. I've gotten some help. I'm going to go back on the peptides that I was telling you guys about. They're
I,
really expensive, but
I know.
um, people are stepping up and helping me. And my dad just said that deal with it. He goes, I will go into debt to get you these. They're expensive. And, our listeners have kept the station going and everything. So, I'm grateful once again. And I have you both awesome warriors who are amazing. So, thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, anytime, anytime.
Love you
Canada,
guys.
Love you too.
Canada better treat her right. I don't want to invade.
We're family, so got to stick together.
Word up. Now, I do want to thank Laws Hay very much for the flag of Yorkshire. It did come in, and I got to thank a brother over in Portugal. I do hold that flag now. Thank you very much, son. That
Nice. So
we
you got
now,
what 25 now, right?
yeah, we got 25 right now. We got
Charles Two
25.
Dog, the new United Nations.
It is actually seeming to look that way right now, Tom. That means we're getting. Matter of fact, there's dignitaries coming over from England. I think will be here on the 5th, and I'm being gifted the flag of England and several others.
Nice.
So that means a whole lot. So I will be setting with them. There's dignitaries coming constantly right now, and matter of fact, one of the dignitaries gave us a flag and actually planted the peace tree in our territory last weekend, and it's just been one constant spiritual move to another, and I'm just trying to do my job, as far as a leader of this nation, to bring people aware that we are all related in many ways.
Oh yeah, in more than one way. The only difference is our like skin color. That's the only difference, and that just happens. That's just a result of the regions that we come from.
Yes. Now let me explain myself. What I'm actually doing also. We go back with my daughter's treatment over in Maryland's hospital. I think in August. All right, and there will be the flag of Cameroon as far as one of the African nations, as far as Cameroon is concerned. It will be waiting on me. It's already been told. But what I'm trying to do with people is to let people understand we are the human being. That has nothing to do with color. It's the human being in itself. Black, white, yellow, red. Yes, that's the color of the four directions, man. Our people know about this. But here's here's how this works. All right,
Hmm.
we're all a human being here. It ain't about color. It's people helping people. Because if you think about it, here in America at one time, the Indian people, we wasn't even considered human for generations. All right,
By civilization standards.
by civilization standards. Okay, well, by sometimes by their own minds. We were animals. Okay, to a lot of people. Matter of fact, the ones that came here sent some of them back to the Queen and actually said, "We got the whole continent. There ain't a human being on it." And there was 149 million. I don't know how, at least 149 million of us here. There was millions of us, but we wasn't considered human.
I promise if you just heard me laughing, that was not towards you. I'm laughing at Lowe's in the chat. She Oh my goodness. You people. I'm sorry, Charles. I'm listening to you.
I
Well,
asked them to step up, so I expect a certain amount of testosterone shuffling. So I am going to sit quietly and listen. See?
Oh my goodness. You guys are a mess.
yes, there will be a certain level of that. Okay.
It's just, we need to shut up and take it, ladies. Okay?
But yeah, yes, Tracy. Real quick, we did speak on the peace tree that was planted in my territory. Uh,
Thank you very much. I'm trying not to backseat host. See, I'm just shutting up.
No, you're fine. But you
it's
should be
fine.
resting though.
I'm resting. I'm resting right now.
Better have you some coffee or some tea or something. No, you're in a relationship with coffee, but you still get your
Oh, yes, I am in a very deep relationship with coffee right now.
heard you guys
Yes,
get married. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Marry
I,
it.
lo-
I love it.
I'm a coffee
I
lover
love it too
myself.
much.
You know, it's good that we're getting some laughter though. Well, I can only speak for myself. I don't know how everybody else has been dealing with the energies that's going on, but I know for some people, it's made them a lot more aggressive, a lot more emotional, things of that nature, just throwing you off balance. And even for me, somebody who meditates daily, like it still gets to me. Like I had to do a heavy meditation to disperse the energy and how it was affecting me. So laughter is good.
Well, laughter's always good medicine. Number one, that has always been proven. Laughter is great medicine. But the fact of the matter is, getting to the serious part. It's like I told you, Tony. I've always been a person that looks at the human integrity, the integrity of the individual.
Hmm.
All right. Martin Luther King, my one of my heroes, Martin Luther King Jr., actually was one of them that said it first. All right. It's not about it's not about color. It's the human being in itself. We're all the human being here, Tone. And it's like when I come home, I love my wife. I hug my kids. I eat with them. I eat beside them. I play with my kids. It's the same deal. And it doesn't matter who you are. It's the same deal, man. It happens. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
It's the
yeah.
same.
And
So,
see, here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. So I'm about to give y'all, if you don't already know this, here's like one of the main like uh, answers to the question, what's the meaning of life? The meaning of life is to experience, is to grow spiritually. It doesn't matter what physical body you take. That is not how your spirit looks. It's the same concept of when you play a game and you create an avatar to operate in that game. You can make the avatar look any way you want, but who is controlling that avatar? It's you. You're acting as that conduit, and that's how the spirit is to the physical world.
exactly.
So it doesn't all
Exactly.
this race and religion and all that. It's just a means to keep us disconnected and in check, basically.
Right. exactly. It's a okay. If you look at the Bible in itself, okay, no disrespect to any Christian. I don't want no. I'm not saying any. I don't mean anything disrespectful. Okay, but uh, there are there's several contradictions in this thing. I don't mean no disrespect, but let your women be silent in church. You want your life givers not to be. Are you telling me your life givers cannot speak to God?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there was an individual that put how that put the cover of the Quran over the Bible. Okay, that's what he did, and he read a passage in the Bible which stated if a woman teaches, she may her may she get her hands cut off if she teaches. And everybody went, I told you it was the Quran is terrible and Muslims are terrible, and he took the cover off the book, and it was the Bible. So there's not you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It's contra my God, that you're talking about one of the most sacred things in life is the female, all right?
I like to see a male naturally try to give birth.
It ain't gonna happen.
I'm not talking about with this corrupt science that we have. I'm talking about naturally. And I'm not
Now,
talking about the androgynous beings on this planet either
right,
that
right, right.
may look like male but are actually female and vice versa.
Now, let me explain something about these things, this flag situation here too.
Please do.
I I went to the mailbox, and this was uh, about a week after that horrific thing that happened in Orlando,
Yeah.
okay, with the LGBT. And I'm thinking, we have to understand and live with everybody. Everybody's important. Every life is important. I don't care, man. In other words, I'm not the judge here. I am only a human being. And according to the Bible, so to speak, there is only one judge, and that is supposed to be God Himself. Okay? You're not supposed to judge your brother or your sister. So basically, who you lay with is not my problem. It's
Yeah,
what
it's
you
not
lay.
affecting me.
No, it doesn't affect me. Who you love is who you love, man. That's just it. Now, I wanted to let you know, Tony, that a week after that, I go to the mailbox, right? And I open it up. Lo and behold, there's another one. I've been getting flags after flags after flags, and I come home, I come back, I sat down on the front porch, and I open it, and it was the LGBT rainbow peace flag. So we do
Nice.
that. The thing about it is, every life is important. You go, well, God hates the, lesbians and hates gay people. If he made them, how in the world could he hate them?
They're not causing harm to anybody, so I don't get that.
No,
Now I can understand if God, if so-called God hated pedophiles and rapists and things like that. Like you're actually inflicting pain and scarring people for life. That's
no,
a whole different thing. But God hates gays and all that. Like no, I don't buy into that.
now I'm
Not
going
not not the God that I would follow.
now pedophilia wise, okay? I'm gonna say it like this. My personal self, when I was 9 years old, I got attacked. Of course, the brother went out the back of a bus. But here's the thing I'm saying. If I see somebody like that coming after a child like that, May he give his life to God, because his other part is mine. I'm going to tear him up. It ain't going to happen. Not no baby. Not no kid. No, 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 no.
No,
But
I don't see any forgiveness for that.
here's my point. Here's my point. Okay. Whoever someone lays with, it's, whoever someone loves, it's not. Twodog is not God. So I am not going to judge anybody at all for that. Your personal life is yours, not mine. It's your personal life. It has nothing to do with me. But if you come and ask anything of me, I'll sit with you. If you do, because to be honest, there was no reason for them people to die up, like them 49 people to die up there like that. There was really no reason. But it's that constant hate understanding. It's a hate thing. If okay, if they're talking. Well, look at Trump. What he's talking about. If you're Muslim, you're supposed to hate them. Hate the Muslims. You're supposed to hate the Mexican. You're supposed to hate. And when he says "Make America Great Again," I'm beginning to wonder. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
Tom?
Well, there was an incident down in Texas within the past week where a dance studio, not a club or anything, the dance studio that had a lot of underprivileged kids there learning, different dance routines, things like that, was actually shot up, and two people were killed. Now, this is a place where kids are. This wasn't like a gay club or anything like that. So we're being attacked on all fronts. Now, I don't know if the two people that were killed were
Yeah,
kids
Tony.
or
It's
what.
it's the main.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Well, I'm like this, my friend. When it starts getting so bad that you're going after children, you have now gotten as sick as you can get.
Yeah.
That's sick, man. You don't go after babies. What's wrong with you?
Uh, Damn. Well, that was a quick first hour. Well, we are about to take a quick break, and we will be right back. We have Charles Twodog, the great United Nation peacemaker, and I'm Tony King, and we will be back in a few moments. Thank you guys for joining us. See you in a minute. Welcome back to the second half. You're listening to Trace Elements Radio. I'm your host, Tony King, joined by the other hosts, Chief Charles Twodog. How you doing, brother?
I'm honored to be on with you today, Tony.
Trust me, the feeling is totally mutual. Especially with the peacemaker, man. Got the United Nations coming along. I'm loving it. I really feel like what we got with like oh no, this is the last day of June. Nah. I thought you could
Yeah.
make it to I say we were gonna try to make it to 30 before the end of June, but hey man, you are making some beautiful strides.
Let me explain this, if I can, too, Tony, real quick. We were talking about visions earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I've had many, many visions in my time. Uh, it was very early that one morning. Matter of fact, the sun wasn't really even coming up. And I was sitting on my porch watching the deer roam around and eat while I'm drinking coffee. And there was a great big bright light that just popped. And I looked up, and what it was you could see a native spirit, You could actually see one in the sky when I looked up, and he was smiling. And what he done was he bent down. You could see him go down, and he was still smiling when he come up. And he had beads in his hand, and he handed them toward me. And how do I say this? You know, from that day forward, these flags are coming in, and it's been a nonstop. And some, that what I considered that was the I saw the peacemaker. But what I'm saying is these flags are coming in from all over the world right now. Matter of fact, Portugal came in 2, 3 days ago. Matter of fact, if I get one, I always tell you, hey, this came in. You know what I'm saying, Tom? So I don't
Yeah.
know, whatever my purpose is, I'm going to do. I'm not going to question the creator. I'm just going to do, bro. I don't want to question the creator. I just want to do what he's asking me to do. And like I said, I considered that the peacemaker. Matter of fact, I called my sister, as far as Tracy is concerned, like, look, this is what I sell. What are you saying? And she's like, oh my God, that's what that was. So it verified. I always talk to her before, or my spiritual leader or both to verify what I'm seeing here.
Right.
So it, I considered it the peacemaker, and all of a sudden these flags come in from everywhere. The Mari were they were the first ones to come here. They came and sat with me and gifted me a Mari flag. And then after that, the Eastern band came in, and as far as the Cherokee is concerned, and then it was like how just say a little snowball that you just went off the top of the mountain. Now it's a boulder. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. And that was that vision that you shared with me when it was me, you, and Tracy on that call after the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I shared that with you also. That was just a heavy. That was the heaviest vision I've ever. And it just come out of nowhere. I wasn't seeking a vision or anything. I was just actually relaxing in the morning, drinking my coffee and watching the deer in my yard, you know, and blam, it just hit.
That's all it
So,
takes. I swear, anytime I have a vision, I'm not looking for anything. I'm not looking for any answers. I'm not focused on anything.
no,
It just hits.
yeah. What I'm saying, I'm trying to say to the world is that, if you take your hand and you spread it open, okay, and this was a vision I had when I was 4. I told my grandfather about. How are we going to do anything with each other if we are spread apart like this? And then I put my fist together. I said, if everybody comes like this and unites together, the powers to be have no oomph. If you get what I'm saying, it's the people. Huh?
Yeah, I really feel like, and see, I was talking about that European vision that I had, or
Mm-hmm.
the one with our European brothers. You know, the
Yeah.
visions are not always written in stone. You know, things can change, and I'm not saying that we're not going to lose people along the way because you can't save everybody. Some people don't want to be saved. Some people want to live in their facade of a life.
Right.
You can't do anything. You can't do anything about that. All you can do is get the information out, give them love, and hopefully they'll come around. Me personally, this energy that we've been bombarded with the Mars retrograde and all that, it has made me emotional to the point where like I'm not like just like walking around, crying or anything all the time, but like it's hard for me now. It was always been a challenge for me to watch certain scenes in movies and TV shows that have that emotional factor in, like when somebody dies or anything and they play like that music and stuff. Like it used to not bother me when I was a kid as much, but as I got older and I started to meditate more and get more connected and stuff, it was like I don't know if I'm like channeling like that emotion that they are portraying at the time or if it's just like a situational thing, but like even movies now, I'm like, man, why am I getting all teary eyed over this? Like that's crazy. And the events that happen, with the gorilla being killed with the baby and uh,
Yeah.
the the cat that got killed at the Olympics. When they said that it got loose and all that, I don't, I'm not buying that. I feel like you guys probably just killed it, sacrificed it, or whatever. It's stuff like that gets to me because I really like I get it. Like I get that there are like some very negative people in the world, and all they want to do is just troll you every way they can.
Yeah.
Whether it's causing pain and um, disconnection. Trying to control you, whatever it is. Like I know that you'll just about always have those kinds of spirits, especially now that we have had such a psychic scarring on people to the point where, okay, let me put it like this. So in my studies, I've studied demons. I've studied a lot of different things, but when I studied demons, I noticed that uh, at least a good portion, like three-quarters of the demons that are out there throughout the world, all the stories and stuff, they all stem from a human who did some kind of vile act. Maybe it was rape, murder, pedophilia, whatever, or they had such a um, they had such a want for power, a oh, what am I trying to say? They they basically sold themselves. If you want to say, sold their souls to the devil.
Yeah.
In that respect, so like people know the reference. Of course, I don't subscribe to that, but something happens, and I'm trying to remember the word that I read because there was something in a religious text. It was based on the Bible, but it wasn't the King James version or anything, or the Gideon version or whatever. It was a very old Bible, and it talked about how men have souls, but then you have the opposite of a soul. I think it was like Sochal. I believe is how it was pronounced, was like the opposite of the soul, which was like an empty void. So, like, essentially, like when somebody goes just like full dark side, and I'm not talking about the good kind of darkness, but they go full dark side, they lose that light in their soul, so to speak, that energetic frequency that allows us to connect with one another, and then they transform into something else. And I feel like, well, I know that there are individuals on this planet that are operating like that, especially since reincarnation or incarnation is real. If you don't believe me, look at the Dalai Lama. He incarnates all the time, but he does it in his own like culture, so to speak. He doesn't,
Yeah,
incarnate as a black person and then incarnate as a Native American or what have you. Like he stays within his own lineage. And I really feel like that has to do with the blood of our ancestors. Like you can only tap into what you have,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Well, we can actually look in some of these movies, okay? And you're talking about the soul and the spirit, right?
Hmm.
Uh, how do I put this? There was actually a western that come out not long ago. Kurt Russell in it and things like this. It was called Tombstone, okay? And you had Doc Holliday in a bed. He was coughing, and because he did have that lung problem.
Hmm.
And he was going to be fighting Johnny Ringo, which Doc told him they were trying to figure out what was wrong with Johnny Ringo. Why is he acting the way he's acting? And Doc Holliday pretty much went, it's a retribution. And Wyatt Earp said, retribution for what? And Doc said, for being born. In other words, life beat on this child so much that he didn't care about anything. If you see where I'm going with this,
Oh yeah.
it was a retribution for being born. Now, a lot of people, and this is going in my own life, okay? A lot of people look at me how I am, and they can't catch why I'm this way, especially with the life I've lived. I'd have been, some people tell me I ought to be the meanest human being that ever walked the planet, you know, because I went from, I don't know, eating, sleeping out of garbage cans to this. But it's that if you keep that spiritual connection, brother, you're going to be okay.
I agree.
But it's he had a retribution for being born. If you see where they were taking us in that movie, Tony.
The reason I brought the whole origin of demon things up is it got me thinking. I was actually talking to Lowe's about that in the chat, and something triggered in my mind, like everything that they do that has been done, all the trauma that we've experienced is probably to build that kind of a army. Get people in that mind frame, like, hey, it's okay to do this, do whatever you want, inflict pain and trauma on other people, lead them physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally scarred for life, so you can continue that cycle, so that when we do pass on, we forget so much. Like, what happens when you've experienced a very traumatic experience? Your body will almost forget it just so you can survive. And that's like the same thing that happens with the spirit. That's why people don't even know that they're being incarnated into another body. They don't even believe in that because that program has been instilled in them. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
if
so
you look
so
at
it continues the disconnection.
yes, if you look at all this trauma that world media continues to bombard you with, that we have to understand that we're part of this nature in itself. Okay,
Hmm.
so if they can keep you bombarded with all the fear factors of who's doing what and how many's getting murdered and destroyed around the world and this can happen to you, and You don't trust nothing outside your own home. Okay, there's that disconnection to what truthfully we are, and we're the two-legged animal on this planet that's supposed to be caretakers of this land.
Keyword
I
animals.
I seriously think keep now. Here's the thing. A lot of people tell me, well, have told me, let's put it this way, that we're human, we're not animals.
But we're
Well,
mammals,
yes, you
though.
are now. You're a mammal, number one.
Isn't a
We are
mouse a
mammals.
mammal?
We are the
Isn't a bird
two-legged
a mammal?
animal on this planet. I don't care who you are.
We're all connected.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
we're the two-legged animal. We're related to the smallest bug to the biggest fish. We're related to the smallest bug to the biggest fish. We're related to the trees. We're related to the wheat. Everything is our relation. We are we are nature, but there's a lot of people that's, how do I say it, try to play the creator a lot, but you can't, because truthfully, we are the two-legged animal on this planet that is supposed to be the caretakers of this mother, and we're destroying her in many, many ways. Now,
We could
the
definitely
problem
be
is,
the
I
creators
think, the yes, we can create in a
in a
good
positive
way
sense.
that won't hurt the mother.
Exactly.
In a positive way, you can create without hurting the mother. If you see what I'm saying, Tony,
Oh
you can
yeah, I'm
create
with you.
things without hurting. All right, but as you see what's going on, our oceans are dying. Or if our oceans die, you die. But if you was to take your hand and make a circle, and if the water goes, spread your fingers apart. That's the circle of life. You can die from what this. If the water goes bad, if the wolf dies, if the trees are no more, you can die from this. The great circle of life. You see what I'm saying, Tone?
Yeah, I guarantee you, if we muck this planet up even more, the planet will survive. Humans won't.
No. Now let's look at this. Let's look at this. A brother of mine from over in Tennessee, we had to do a ceremony for a dignitary,
Hmm.
and what this brother told these people, they gifted him some honey, some real honey that was made, right, by the bees that they have. Now, what he stated was, if the bee dies and there's no way for pollination going on here, human society, human life may go, human life might survive 3 years if the bee dies. 3 years. Is that what you
That's
want?
just one small
My God.
insect on this planet that, as most people perceive it to be.
Yes. So if the bee dies away, human society might last 3 years. I
And we've
think we
been
better
hearing this
wake
for
up.
years. At least I don't know how long you've been hearing it, but I've been hearing about this for at least for a couple of decades.
Yes, it's actually been there longer.
I believe it.
Now, you can look around my area and you can see some bees, some, but they're not like they were. Now, what's going to happen if that bee dies completely? Then the pollination is not going to happen, and it may end up like my brother spoke of. If the bee dies, human society has 3 years in itself. Only 3 years. I don't think I want to go there.
No, because I love my honey. I need honey in my tea. If I don't get honey in my
Well,
tea, I'm gonna go crazy.
but I'm just saying, this brother is trying to tell people what's happening here. It's like what our sister Tracy has done for years since I've been with her.
Hmm.
She's telling people what the heck's going on with this.
Telling you what you need to do.
Yes,
What, not what you need to do, but what you can do to help fix things.
yes, yes. We can all help fix, you know, things in our territory. But, you have, like I said, they love the frog skin around here as far as the green paper. And people going to make that paper if they can and not worry about the consequences, if you get what I'm saying, Tony.
Yeah, Tracy made a very vital point. You guys need to do what the F she says.
Sorry, that was inappropriate.
Oh, thank you for the laughter.
I'm typing inappropriate things in the background, so everyone
No,
knows.
you're allowed to. You're on break right now. You can't do that during the show, but you can definitely do that on your vacation. I encourage that. But yeah, it's these things that we should be doing. It's not like it should be forced upon us. It should be something that you naturally want to do, but you've
Yes,
forgotten. We've lost our way.
yes. What it comes from the same thing that I've been saying for years now. Okay, human society needs to get back. In other words, going back to the mountain and get focused, as you have always heard me say.
Hmm.
It's time to get back to that spiritual and tribal connection and work together for the benefit of the whole. And that's for nature and ourselves, because we are part of that nature. If you look biblically, where they said, "Go forth and tame the wilderness," Indian people here, we lived with nature, so they considered we had to be tamed too. Same aspect, because we knew that we were part of this nature. As Indian people, we knew that we
Well, any
lived.
any anybody or anything connected with nature has to be destroyed.
Yes, tame it. Now, how you can't tame a cougar, but here's the thing.
You can
If
most certainly try, but it probably won't end in your favor.
let's
Well,
put
in
it
your
this
favor.
let's put it this way: if you have a wolf, a wild wolf, and you put it in a cage, it's going to fight you. But if that wolf has cubs, and that cubs are raised in that cage,
That's all they know.
that's all they know. So that them cubs are calmer than that mother or that cougar that you put in there first. Then their descendants are calmer, their descendants are calmer, because that's all they know. See, but you're not going to take anything out of the wild and put it in there and think everything's going to be hunky dory. If you get where I'm going, and that's the same thing that happened after the Indian Wars. The first people you put on the reservation, they didn't want to be there,
No, it's a
but their
toxic
children
environment.
are being done. See what I'm saying?
I'm gonna put this very bluntly for people who just cannot get right. Which I'm pretty sure, like, if you can't get it right, you're probably not listening to this. But anybody who is listening to this, you can go tell people who just can't get right this. If we don't connect back with nature right now, when we have the chance to, and still live, I don't want to say exist in this society we have because we don't need this. But if you don't connect with nature now, you're going to be forced to connect with nature on nature's terms, and you probably
Yes.
won't like that. And I'm talking about like if you guys see any of those apocalyptic shows, Walking Dead, any of that, it's always the people that don't know how to survive that
Mm,
end up having the hardest time. The
right.
people, the natives, the indigenous natives all around the planet who already know how to live off the land will be just fine because they already do that. It'll be a minor speed bump from them, but I mean, at least we'll have a chance to get our planet back.
Now, what are people going to do, Tony? What I'm saying is, what are people going to do when it's not nature that does it, but man that pushes it? You have like nuclear weapons worldwide. What if you get an idiot that gets mad at something and just pushes the button? Then what are people going to do when when the air you're breathing is nuclear and everything just is messed up? Life ain't going to be too good. That's
Yeah,
another
I'm
thing of
sorry.
thinking. That's just another thing of thinking, Tony. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I yeah, I was just just gonna reiterate that we need to get back with nature, because it's really only a handful of people that are controlling us. It's not like we're outnumbered. We're not. They
No,
don't the people at the top don't know how to operate nuclear weapons and things of that nature. They don't. That's why they have to get other people to do that because they're too lazy to do it on their own or to learn it on their own. Otherwise, if they knew how to do that, we probably would be in more trouble than we are now.
yes. I mean, if you look at, okay, let's go with, here in America, we'll go with it like this. We have representatives in Washington that we call senators that are supposed to tell our what we are talking about and what we need and how we need it. If I was to go to, say, Senator McConnell out of Kentucky, he wouldn't know who I was in the first place
Hmm.
because he's just there making his frog skin. That's basically it, and trying to interrupt stuff. So basically, if I went to him, he wouldn't know who Twodog was. Period. Even if you vote for him, he don't know you. How come you can't never talk to him? Same deal.
I have faith in people, in those that actually want to make a change, that know that the way we're living is not how we should be living. It's very toxic. I have
Right.
faith in those people. What I would hate to see is for us to get to that, because we're already at that breaking point, but for it to
Yeah,
get
we are.
worse to the point where like the fecal matter has already hit the fan and splattered all over the place, and now they want to talk about trying to clean it up instead of trying to prevent it in the first place.
Right.
Like we're already kind of like in a state of going to hell. That whole cliche saying or whatever, but it does apply to how things are going on around this planet. Like as much good as I see, people saying that dogs are equal to human beings, but then you turn around and then you hear about these people being shot up. It's like, can you guys, can you give me a little bit more to work with? Like,
Okay,
I'm
let's
really
look.
trying to get us connected, best way we can. And it's not just me. It's, a lot of people that, like Two
It's a
Dog
lot of
and Tracy are doing this. It's definitely not a one person act. It's all of us. We're all involved.
yeah, it's a whole act, Tony. But let's look at the way people think. Okay, just for a second, we're going to go back a little bit. When a person get say this person, he gets this horse. Okay, it's a horse, the wild horse. You can't ride it. Okay, what they'll tell you is animals, the four-legged animal, it absolutely has no spirit. That's what they say. All right. But if you try to break that horse, the first thing that man's going to tell you is that you have to break its spirit before you can ride it. He doesn't have one, but you got to break it.
Right. But of
You
course,
see?
the average person doesn't pick that up.
No, no. But see, here's the thing. Everything on this planet, the horse, the dog, the cat, the trees, the winged ones,
The rocks.
us, us, the rocks, the fishes, okay? Everything has being. Everything. We just happen to be the human being. Now you have the animal, which is the human, and the being, which is spirit. Okay?
Hmm.
So we're all spirits in a three-dimensional shell. Okay, that's human being. Let's look at the human being.
I
We
agree with
all
you.
have spirit in a three-dimensional shell. Okay, so if we have spirit, aren't we all holy in many ways?
Everything on this planet should be divine.
Everything is divine. We just, as human beings, we're just not seeing the divine part. Now, a lot of people go, there's got to be a heaven because I'm walking in hell every day, as far as here, because of how everything's malfunctioning. All right? We got to take back the control system. We got to get back to understanding that we are this nature. And if we destroy nature, then we destroy ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. um, I know you're probably seeing the same thing. Like Tracy is like, she is just like cutting up today. Like I'm listening to you and we're having like that serious conversation, but the Tracy like shoots some, like some funny stuff in the chat, and I'm like trying not to laugh because it would seem like I'm laughing at what you're saying. Like no, I'm not laughing at what you're saying. We're having a serious
Sorry.
conversation. Oh my goodness.
No, Tracy, I have to say, Trace, to be honest, I agree with you. I do. I totally
That's
agree with
great.
Oh,
you.
I'm not
Never mind what I
disagreeing at
said,
all.
guys. It was completely inappropriate.
It was inappropriate, but it was also appropriate at the same time.
Oh yeah, it is appropriate, because the only thing we got to is look out your front door and see if it ain't happening.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm gonna say it like this too. One of the very early things I ever heard Mr. John Trudell say was, "America is fixing to be in a futuristic police state." Okay, he stated about a futuristic police state.
It's
Only thing I
happening.
got to tell you to do, It's now. That futuristic police state is already happening. They're stopping you for nothing. I mean, people are getting. Well, we had an elder years back, as far as John T. Williams, that got shot in the back by a Seattle police officer 7 times. Okay, because he was doing what? He was whittling when he went across the Seattle sidewalk. That's it. He because he was deaf and couldn't hear the guy, he shot him.
Yeah.
You have you got black people around this whole area, as far as America is concerned, that's getting killed for nothing. Didn't do anything. Futuristic police state, believe me, is now. It's happening right this minute.
There's no positive reason why they should be killed, but they're being killed for a reason to keep us disconnected, to keep us fighting a battle that we should not be fighting. We shouldn't be fighting the battle. We should be focused on the war, so to speak.
Yeah, you need to be focused on what's happening.
The grand scheme of things, the big picture.
The big picture is they're going to take what they can take. The takers are always going to take it.
And
The
if we
fact,
don't work together, they're just going to take from all of us.
what
If
would
we work
happen
together, they can't take anything.
now? You take the last break, okay, where you had the Muslims singing.
Hmm.
Then you had the Indian come out with the drum and they're singing. And what would happen if everybody around the world just come together like that in one big unity song and say no more? What would happen?
I would imagine that energy, that connective resonance would leak out all over the planet. It would resonate everywhere, and
Yes,
you would actually see changes in nature as well. Because what a lot of people don't realize is the stuff. I'm not saying like HARP and CERN isn't responsible for any of this, but a lot of the
the
issues
what?
that we're having on this planet, um, natural disasters, things like that, it's because of us. It's because of the human beings. Because of we're so disconnected with nature, so disconnected with one another, it's spilling out and it's being expressed out in nature. So yeah, when we are disconnected,
Yes,
when we fight and we get wrapped up in their control system, whether it's racism, prejudice, whatever, yeah, you're going to see earthquakes and tornadoes and hurricanes and tsunamis and things like that.
right.
When you look at another culture and you can't see that you and them are one and the same, the only thing that is basically keeping you from connecting with that person directly is a language barrier. It's and the language barrier was what the language barrier was actually set up as another control mechanism to keep us disconnected, because we used to communicate telepathically, and that was the lowest form of communication we used to use. We never verbally used our mouths to communicate.
Exactly. The fact of the matter is, we could actually do this if we allow ourselves. I mean, just think if the Aboriginal people started playing the didgeridoo,
Mm-hmm.
the Muslims start singing, the Indians start singing
Playing
here on Turtle Island,
sitars. Native
and
Americans start playing the flutes. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
we all come together and just say, this is what we're going to do, and say, this is going to stop. and we help each other worldwide instead of dividing each other, what would happen? But in many, many ways, okay, if you would have thought, now, me personally, as this small little tribe nation I've got, would have ever thought that the Maori, the I mean, you talking about warriors, the Maori are awesome. I mean, look at the Haka, for instance. They're awesome. Would ever be setting in my territory because we're talking peace with each other
Mm-hmm.
and love, honor, and respect and understanding culture. We can understand culture if we take time to set with each other. There is no time. It's like hurry up, do this, do this, do this, hurry up, keep going,
It's just,
do. Okay?
mm-hmm.
In other words, we don't even have time for our children in this modern world. And then they wonder what's wrong with your kids. Nobody nobody has time to take care of them anymore.
We need to
You
make
know,
time.
that's what happens. We have to make time for the life. The life giver and the sacred male has to take time with their children and sit down with them and keep that understanding going before these kids get out of hand to where they you can't. What kind of world you gonna have with that? It's a malfunction that, hey, the world's going too fast. I got so much I got to do. I ain't got time for my own kid. Oh, come on, man. Really? But, it's the same thing, Tony. If you look, I don't understand what's happening myself right now. I could have, I could walk down to that mailbox right now and have another one in it.
Or another 4 or 5. Put you at that
Another,
30.
let's put it this way, Tony. I walked down to the mailbox one time, and there were 4 flags in it at the same time. Let's put it this way: it was Cuba, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, and Dominican Republic was all sitting in my box at one time. For the Caribbean, people were already talking. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
And half of these, I have no idea. I have no idea who. I have no idea who sent it. I'm just honored they did. That's maybe just peace. Maybe it's a peace movement. Maybe that's what it is too.
Your
That's what
vision
I'm.
spoke of the peacemaker.
Yes.
It showed you the path that you need to be on.
So I'm speaking to all First Nations. I'm speaking to everybody. I don't want no nation left out of this. We need to look at each other and put our hands out and saying, "Welcome, my brothers and sisters," and look and see what we can do for each other.
And see, Charles is such a humble individual. He has not asked for any of this, but I'll ask because I'm gonna ask everybody to send him a flag because he's the peacemaker and he's gonna make some changes.
Well, it's time. This is the thing, my brother. I'll be honest with you. In my life, I never thought I could do nothing, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But, everything is in Creator's time. It's not in mine. I've now gotten to the point that I'm not going to question the master of life. I'm just going to do. If that's what, if that vision is here and if it makes me that, I'm just humble. I'm humble and thank you. All right. We're starting to see some revelation happen
Mm.
in many ways. It also spoke of the second coming of the peacemaker, didn't it not? But
Indeed.
I did, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, here I am. No, I ain't going to do such a thing.
That's
Okay.
not
But
you.
that's just not me.
Yeah.
I don't do that, you know. But only thing I know is miracles happen every day, every second. But if people that have the same heart, the same mindset, the same want, then I'm proving it by what I'm getting out of the mailbox every day, almost every day. Maybe 1 or 2 days something won't show up, then bang it will.
Well, I feel like the ones that are sending you the flags are the ones that are fighting with us.
I do agree with that. I believe that with the ultimate more than anything.
So
I
there,
mean,
there is that network. If anybody out there feels like they're alone, there is that network of people. Because
yeah,
I was one of those people that felt alone before I found Tracy and the late Dave Corso, and I didn't know what to do with all this knowledge. I was just like, I'm alone. I would try to talk to my friends, and then some of them might be interested, but nobody could really offer too much to the conversation. You know what I mean? And it's not
well,
to talk down on them. It's just we all walk our own path. But we,
everybody walks their own path, bro.
but a lot of
Everybody
us,
does.
and we all walk separate paths because of the disconnection. And we could all be on the same path working together. Not to
Right.
say that we still won't bring 6 billion different perspectives to the table, but those perspectives will be aligned in alignment with one another, if that
Hmm.
makes sense, because
Yes,
we'll all be working together.
yes. The main thing is to work together for the benefit of the whole. And if you think about it, if all these nations come to my territory and all these flags are up, let's just say it like this. Maybe we're doing something for the benefit of the whole mother and coming together as a human relation and stop this insanity. I don't hate my brother from, Palestine.
Mm-mm.
And if I get that flag, I do want Palestine to understand that more than anything, an Indian understands exactly where you're coming from, my brother. That, what I'm stating is, and if I do get the one from Palestine, is that we're all here and every nation and every people have a right to be here as far as on this mother. Every people have a right to exist, and that includes Palestine. Don't.
you know and I know we've only got a few moments left, so I'll try to hurry this up. It doesn't matter what blood you have in your body, because it's this is just a suit that we wear. It's no different than when you go to a fancy dinner and you put on your good suit. This is just the body that we use to experience. It doesn't make being black doesn't make you any more superior to white, and vice versa. Because we're all family. We all have our unique traits, gifts, whatever. But it should not, at the end of the day, keep us from connecting as a family, because we are all children of the mother. We are all brothers and sisters. It doesn't matter what flavor you come in. It's we're all the same
No,
spiritually.
no, it don't.
even the ones who have tainted spirits. You just got to get that taint out.
Yeah, we got to look at the idea that I don't care what race, creed, or color you are. That don't make, what color you are. Don't make it, grandfather gave it to you. Be happy. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of exactly who you are. Okay? Because no one's different.
And that's our cue. I want to graciously thank everybody for joining us today, especially you, Chief Charles Twodog. I appreciate you joining today. We'll see this on Tuesday next. Thanks everybody. Love you guys. And come together as a community.